Hello, everyone. We are here with Luan and we are ready for our final session of the day. No pressure. After which, I will be announcing the winners of our competition for today. So stay tuned for that. So our final session is going to be about the top 10 tools for social media marketing. So Luan, I don't know what's happened to me today. I'm out now. Luan is an independent marketing consultant with over 20 years experience in agency, client side and consultancy roles, working across sectors, including B2B and B2C, professional services, higher education, manufacturing, learning development, and more. And in addition to running her consultancy and training business, she's a LinkedIn learning course instructor. She's an accredited lead trainer for Meta and author of the award-winning book, Relax, It's Only Social Media. So we are super excited to have you talking today. And just as a reminder, we can, if you want to drop any comments in, we've got the emoji buttons at the bottom. And as ever, the Q&A box. And I will be asking Luan any of your questions at the end. So over to you.
Thank you very much. And thank you, commsHERO, for having me back. I've attended a few events now, so really excited to deliver this session, which I know is your last session of the day. And I love my job because I'm hands-on, I'm a practitioner, and I get to teach and train and share my learnings with other people. So thought that a good topic for commsHEROs would be to share top 10 tools for social media marketing. Now, these are not in a rundown order. They are just 10 of the tools that I really like to use. So I'm going to run through these. I know this session is being recorded. If anyone does want the slide deck afterwards, or if you're going to take photos as I go through, please do, and open to questions. Now, when I logged in about an hour ago to watch the previous session, I almost changed my first tool because I know that if you're watching this live, you've just watched an entire session and had lots of Q&A about grammar. But I didn't change it. I know that it was a whole session on it, but my first tool that I'm going to share today is one around spelling and grammar. Now, I know if you're ever looking for engagement on social media, a typo always works really well. But joking aside, spelling and grammar are, I believe, really important. Yes, we can edit our posts on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, sometimes just the text, not always the images. And there is talk of an edit button finally coming to Twitter, but there will be limitations and it's rolling out to just blue subscribers first. So it's not even in the UK right now. But even if you are good at spelling and grammar and it comes naturally, we all make mistakes, particularly when we're, kind of working really fast, which we do on social media. So I love the app, the tool Grammarly. I use it. I have the extension plugged in so that it helps me whether I'm writing emails, whether I'm writing Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts. I would highly recommend Grammarly as a top tool for all social media marketers. Okay. Now, my next few tools are more about planning, the planning side of being in social media. And I'm very much a planner. I like to kind of have things pre-prepared, ready to go. And so the language, moving on from grammar to the language of social media and hashtags, I like to make sure that I've got hashtags that align with my content pillars. I look at what competitors are using. I do some research, and wherever possible, I try to have my lists of hashtags ready to go so that whenever I'm creating posts, scheduling posts, I've got as many pre-planned hashtags ready to use as I need. And I use some tools for that. Yes, you can think of them, but sometimes you get a bit of a block, or you may just want to have a look around and see what other people might use. So the tools that I will use for hashtags across all platforms, some research, are hashtagify.me. And this screenshot was an example when I put the word coffee into hashtagify.me, and it's showing me similar hashtags Word cloud effect, so the larger the words, the more often it's used. So associated with coffee is Starbucks, cafe, coffee lover, morning, coffee time. I find that that's quite a useful tool. I also do like besthashtags.com as another resource online. And I should have said, the tools I'm sharing with you today are free. Sometimes there is a paid for option for additional searches or additional functionality, but everything I am sharing has free versions for you. I also like an app called Tagomatic. I particularly use this for Instagram because it's all on my phone. I can put in a word like I've done coffee there, select some other hashtags that are similar around the topic, and then literally kind of copy them to a clipboard and paste them over into my posts. So doing some hashtag research when you're preparing your campaigns, working alongside your content pillars, just saves time in the day-to-day. Yes, you may often need day-to-day hashtags, but do a bit of research, and there's 3 tools that I'm recommending. So actually I've got more than 10 today, but I've grouped them under headings. Now, one of my favorite tools, and I'd love to know in the chat if any of you have used this, and it's not just because of the name, it is called Follower Wonk. It's a tool by Moz. Let me go to that slide. It's a tool by Moz, and there are 3 parts of Follower Wonk that I really like. Search bios, and these are tabs along the top of the tool when you go and have a look. Search bios, compare users, and analyze. This is for Twitter. Unfortunately, I haven't found similar tools for other platforms. So most of my research is often with tools for Twitter because the API is so open. And then I use those insights and those information for my content planning, insights, and take that across to other platforms. No, you're right. Don't get this name wrong. Search bios is great because you can search for keywords within people's Twitter bios. And you may do this for a number of reasons. You may do this with your brand name to see how many people have put your brand name in their Twitter bio. If I do this for universities that I work with, I sometimes come up with over 800 Twitter accounts that have the university institution's name in the Twitter bio. Of course, that will be a mixture of the university channels, the academics, students that studied there, etc. But it's a really useful tool to actually see who's putting certain words into Twitter bios. So I did a quick search last night as I wanted to make sure this is up to date to see how many people might have commsHERO in their Twitter bio. And 132 people have put commsHERO in their Twitter bio. And the great thing about Follower Wonk is that you can then filter and order by how many tweets those accounts have done. Not surprising, commsHERO Twitter account comes top on that one, but Cheltenham Borough Council comes second in terms of account size on their followers. So do have a look at that. Think about if you're ever trying to build your audience or identify people within an audience that have certain interests. I have done this before with keywords like coffee, if it was a coffee brand or things like that. Just a really useful tool. If you pay to upgrade, you would be able to download that as a CSV file and do some following from within the tool. The other tab I like on Follower Wonk is compare users. So for this one, again, we're still on Twitter. I compared my Twitter account at Luan Wise with the Twitter account for @commsHERO. And actually, we have a very similar number of followers. There's only about 100 between us in terms of our account size. And what this is showing is that we actually, my followers and the commsHERO followers, there's a slight overlap in the middle. We've got 682 followers in common. Now, not only is this just interesting, I use this for clients when I'm looking to see, do they have overlaps with their competitors? I may use this internally to see if there is overlaps in audiences between internal accounts within an organization. Sometimes there's really big overlaps in which case I've been able to use that as data insights to actually go, we might as well close that small circle one down because there's such an overlap with the big circle. There's not enough of a unique audience for us to recognize that we need to be putting all our effort and time and energy into 2 Twitter accounts. Look, the data shows that we could probably close it down. Or competitor wise, you could say, we have this many followers right now. Our competitors have a similar profile because of the overlap or not. I'm going to go after their followers and see if I can, increase that overlap and know that I'm getting the right audiences. So hopefully there's just a few ideas there in terms of how you might be able to use this Venn diagram, but I've used it in so many presentations. And when you've got data to support, a reason to set up an account, what your competitors are doing, close accounts, these 2 circles do it for me every time. And then one of the other tabs on Follower Wonk is one called Analyze. And you can do this for any Twitter account. This doesn't just need to be for your own. I've just taken 2 snapshots of a report that will come up on the Analyze tab. And I did this for my own account. And this shows where my followers are in the world. And it also shows how the active time of my followers on Twitter too. So this is useful for me if I'm looking at my own account, but it's also useful again if I want to see what my competitors' audiences are like, whether they also have the same patterns in terms of times of day, and there's more information on that Analyze tab as well. So great for competitor insights, great for understanding your audiences and a bit of planning as well. And yeah, we do love a bit of sneaky follower stealing. But if we've got the data and the reason to do it, it's a strategic insight, then I'm happy with those kind of tactics that come out of the side of it. So all of those so far, those counted as 3. Another Twitter tool that you may want to look at, and again, this is because Twitter is open, you can interrogate it, use it for insights about your own account and your competitor set. Twitonomy. These all have such great names, you're not going to forget them. Twitonomy, you log into Twitonomy through your own Twitter account. You connect it to it. And what happens then is you can put in any Twitter handle, your own, your competitor set, your friends, your family, and you get a really nice report. If you want to download the reports as a PDF, you can pay a flat fee of $20, which will give you access for a month. So I think for $20 to do a whole competitor audit is good value for money. This is just one part of the report that you see that shows on that Twitter account, who do they most retweet? Who do they most reply to? Who do they most mention? Which is great for some influencer insights and opportunities. I've got another influencer tool later, but also the hashtags they use the most on Twitter as well. So this is useful. Are they using branded hashtags? Are they getting involved in specific campaigns? What you would also see if you go to Twitonomy at the top of the report is their average tweeting numbers per day, which again is useful as a benchmark. You will also see some numbers around what percentage of their tweets are retweets. So again, if I'm doing any competitor benchmarking, I will actually use all of that data and say across the competitor set, we tweet 3.2 times a day, competitor 1 tweets 4.5, competitor 3 tweets 4.6. And again, I can then inform people and say, we're tweeting less than everyone else, or we're tweeting more, we do less retweets, etc., and have some insights from that. If you scroll further down the report, you also get times of day that account tweets, days of the week that it tweets as well. And again, that can provide you some insights around their patterns of activity. Are they working out of hours, for example? So I can then take some assumptions from that and go, well, if they're posting on Twitter at these days and times, they're probably working in this way across other social media platforms, perhaps as well. Because this information isn't so available for those, I can just use all the Twitter tools for insights. But hopefully between Follow a Wonk and Twitonomy, you've got some good insights to pick up from that. And I do love looking at what others are doing, not always just competitors, but just, anyone in the industry to get ideas. I know that curiosity has been mentioned on other commsHERO sessions this week. It is an important skill. I think that is what commsHERO is all about. So what I love to do as well is to look at what ads are running. And the social media platforms have made that easy for us by providing some transparency, but not everyone is aware. And the example I wanted to use for this, keeping the commsHERO theme, what brand came to mind first off? Krispy Kreme, donuts. So if you're not aware, or if you are aware, this is a reminder, go on to Facebook, go on to someone's Facebook page. Down the left-hand side, you will see this top screenshot for page transparency. Click on See All. You'll then get another box that pops up to tell you whether the page is currently running some ads or not. If they are, go to the ad library and then you will get to see what ads they are currently running. And where are we? 13th of October, Krispy Kreme have got ads running for Halloween and ordering online for nationwide delivery. This is interesting to see what other brands are doing. If you were planning for Halloween, you could see what other brands were up to. If it's, if you're preparing for Christmas, dare I say it, Black Friday, other key times of the year, go on to the ads library on Facebook and see what people are doing. You can't see their audiences, you can't see their budgets, but very often you can see whether they have got variations of the same ad. And that's useful because you can see what elements they're testing. Sometimes it's copy changes, sometimes it's image changes. Go back in a couple of weeks and you'll probably see different ads running, which would allow you to go, okay, what I saw a couple of weeks ago and I screenshotted it, they were testing this. These ones must have been most effective. What can I learn from that? This is all about learning and looking around. Facebook, great for this. It's Meta, so it's actually Facebook and Instagram ads. You can, for those B2B marketers among us, also do this on LinkedIn. If you go to a company page on LinkedIn, go to posts, you will then you can only do this on a desktop. I've only seen the ads show up if you're using LinkedIn on a desktop. But go to the company page, click on posts, and then you would see all images, videos, articles, documents, and ads. And again, you will see the ads that they are currently running or that they have run in the past. Useful insights. And this is still my number 5 tool. I've grouped it under ads library, is to give you a link for TikTok as well. TikTok actually have this on their website. You can filter on there by region, by industry, by campaign objective, and have a good look through their ads library, and that they have some great examples and case studies on there as well. It's nearly 5 o'clock and all I'm seeing in the chat is donuts right now. So thank you for those images. Number 6 in my top 10 tools is now moving on to think about tools that can help with content creation. So I've done some competitor insights. I've had a look around. I've got some inspiration from ads libraries. What else might be out there to help me? Just a really quick win, I believe, is Google Alerts. Setting up Google Alerts on a keyword, a brand, such as Krispy Kreme, your company name, your product names, your employees' key names, your competitor names. If you want to receive alerts straight through to a reader like Feedly or to your email inbox, set up alerts. this is something I would do when I start working with a new client or on a new brand or a new project or a new topic. Just go into alerts and set things up so they come straight in to my inbox. That was a quick one. Another content tool that I find useful, I mentioned influencers earlier in terms of Twitonomy, talking about users most retweeted and most mentioned. A tool, you don't get too much on the free trial of this one, unfortunately, but if you are looking for who is talking about topics, if you are looking for influencers, trending, I would recommend the tool BuzzSumo for content and influencers. Not much more to say on that one, but that is number 7 out of my list. Number 8, again, I've got a mix here. I think in every social media marketer's toolkit needs to be a scheduling tool. Yes, there are native scheduling options on Meta, Twitter, and it is coming soon to LinkedIn apparently as well. But as we are marketers producing lots of content, scheduling, that is really important for us. So there is a whole set of tools out there depending on your budget, the number of accounts, the number of people you might need. So think about Meet Edgar, Buffer, Loomly, Later, Hootsuite, Sprout Social, SoCrowd, any of those tools. I'm sure you've all got one of those over doing it natively, but if you haven't, then I would recommend it. So that's number 8. Number 9 is a detail of when you're posting content. One of the biggest reasons for people posting content on social media is to drive traffic to their website. So if we want to track those link clicks, what are the best ways to do it? UTMs. I always highly recommend UTMs, setting those up for any links that you have. It's free to do. Google UTM parameters. That's the format of them. If you wanted to really know what that works, how they work, use UTM parameters, but they look really messy. So if you're using a scheduling tool, they will shorten it for you most of the time. If not, go to a tool like Bitly and make your website links look neater. And just one more on that, because under links, I thought I would also cheat my own top 10 title and add in Linktree as a tool for link in bio on Instagram. But I do also see people use the same Linktree link on their Twitter accounts and elsewhere. Again, Instagram are talking about being able to have more than one link natively in the app, but look how beautiful Krispy Kreme's menu looks by using Linktree. Other ones are available. You could create your own one on your website, but it is far better than continually changing the link in your bio on Instagram. So that's a top tool. My final of my top 10, I love the hashtag conversation going in the chat. And yes, it is about accessibility and using capital letters, called Camel Case. That was my earlier on. But my number 10 tool that every social media marketer needs is insights. Whether you use them natively, this was just a small screenshot from Meta looking at reach from Facebook and Instagram. Whether you use native insights, whether you use a third-party tool, your scheduling tool, or other measurement tools, no social media marketer should be without insights and data. So I think that's just on time, but I have got time for questions, I think, Tila. A huge thank you. You can find more of these top tips from my own website. You can find me on social media at Luan Wise. And actually, I created a whole resource website about a year ago where I put all of these tools and many, many more into a library, along with news and updates and everything a social media marketer needs. And that website is called thelighthouse.social.
Thank you so much, Luan. That was brilliant. And I've spent so much time just scribbling. Follow a wonk. Yes, I'm on it.
Yes.
So useful. Got some great chat in the chat box. We don't have any questions. I don't know whether that's because it is we're ready for the off, or like Cheryl says, that was amazing. And what more do you need to ask?
I'll take that. Thank you.
So thank you ever so much for joining us. We've got your details there, and if you want to stick around, I am now about to excitingly I just have to say the names of the competition winners. So let's have a look. We have got 4 winners. Should I do a dramatic pause?
Drum roll.
And the winners are... Sorry, I just have to scroll up. And the winners are Nia Rolfe, Katie Sandy, Glenn Bowley, and Gemma Warren. Huge round of applause. So that is our final session, and with that, day 4 is sadly over. You can catch up on any that you've missed, and we have one more day left of commsHERO. So thank you ever so much, Luan, for joining us. Thank you to all our guests for today, and thank you to you, 28 people who are still with us at the end of day 4. Thank you very much.
Bye.